Okay, wait a minute. This doesn't count. This is just a practice video. I'm trying to figure out how I want to go about doing this. So in the meantime, I thought I would shoot a short little video and tell a little story and see what it takes to edit all this stuff together. So what prompted this is that I found this the other day, which was a data card that I could not find for a long time. And it had a lot of video and photographs on it that I wanted. And I found photographs and a little bit of video that I took on a trip that my wife and I took about three or 4 weeks ago. It was a Sunday, and we were hiding out from the coronavirus. So what prompted this little quest is I was reading about Pawnee Indians. Now, Pawnee Indians sort of used to live in the area where we live, without going into too much detail. But technically, you know, there hasn't really been any proven, shall we say, village sites or anything like that in the area that our family has owned for quite some time, which was a little disappointing to me. But as I was reading and doing the research, I discovered that there was a route that the Pawnee Indians took from a specific village to sort of head down into the Kansas area where they would do their annual buffalo hunt. And the route comes up and it follows the Platte River going to the west until you get to Plum Creek. And then it heads south and they cross over to what is called Turkey Creek. Now, trying to do research on where this is at exactly, I guess, I mean, I'd heard of Turkey Creek my entire life, but wasn't really specific in my head where it was at. And so Jen and I went out to go and find this place. And it was nice. We get to go out. There wasn't really anybody around. It was out in the middle of nowhere. It was an area that I'd been to before in my life, but wasn't really familiar with. Also, we have kayaks, and my wife is really into kayaking, and we were looking to see if maybe we could go down that little creek. So we took off, and we found what we tried to do was to find a place where we could get a good look at the creek, and typically that meant crossing a bridge over the creek at some point. And so we discovered as we were going south, kind of following the course of the creek and zigzagging back and forth over it, that there was very few bridges left in place. So what we did was we found one bridge that was rough, and there was, I guess, for lack of a better word, a fence across the road with signs saying, "Hey, please don't, you know, this is a dangerous, this bridge is washed out, please don't come over here." So we parked the car there and crossed over on foot to take a look at the place. And there was a bridge, and I will throw up a photo so you can see what it looked like. But we went out, we stepped out on it, and we looked around, and it felt solid to us. And then we went off and started to see if we could find a place to go down closer to the edge of the water where we could get a kayak in if we wanted to. We found that a lot of the time, trees and stuff had fallen in over the course, and it would be really hard. There just wasn't quite enough water to allow, you know, a kayak to get around. But my wife went down, and she was kind of down beneath the bridge, and there was very little holding that bridge up, the bridge that we had just been on. So this little, I guess, elderly Sunday afternoon excursion turned into something a little more adventurous than we realized. There was one thing that we discovered that really is still stuck in my head as perhaps a little seed of an idea that I could use for an adventure. But we were crossing by a farmer's field, and this was near one of the bridges that we stopped at. And there was an obvious no hunting sign there. And someone had draped a deer pelt over it. It was just there. I don't know what happened, if somebody got caught hunting that wasn't supposed to be, some kind of weird, creepy, shamanistic thing happening. I don't know, but there has to be a story there, and I'll never know what it is, so I'll probably just come up with my own story. So we went down and checked out a couple more places, found where this particular creek actually dumps into the Republican River. Not sure where the Pawnee Indians crossed after that, because they go all the way down into what is now Kansas to find the buffalo. So yeah, that was the adventure, and this is just sort of a test run. I'm going to start doing vlogs when I go out on a trip, or both of us or our entire family goes out on a trip. And basically, I'm looking for inspiration for a lot of the Wild West or Weird West games that we play. I'm looking for story ideas, historical nuggets that you could feed off of, or just really interesting things that we didn't know existed around us. So, well, if that's something you enjoyed, I'll keep it up. And this has just been a test, like I said. So, thanks for listening.